Gantz and Lapid lined up, and Bennett almost, but like everything is like there's so much. Yeah, but there's so much stuff like changing right now that I don't know. I talked to Ulmer yesterday. We'll see, but I don't know.
I think Bennett is like one of the most successful prime ministers in the past few years.
Yeah? How long was he even prime minister for?
Like 2 years, I think, because Bibi scammed him.
Well,
it's scammed.
Shouldn't have gotten scammed.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
What would you say? Like pro-Palestinians who like aren't aware of any like actual history?
I'm okay. That aren't aware of any history.
Yeah, like how would you like how would you like start to like
I'm good.
change their mind? Like,
So I have a question. I don't understand something. How you are against about the blockade?
Okay.
After the war ends.
Probably.
I don't understand that logistic about it, to be completely honest. Because
Look, ask me after all the fucking
okay,
pictures,
fuck that.
Yeah.
What do you think about the traffic of Tel Aviv?
It's not as bad as LA, but it's worse than Miami.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Ask me after the pictures, okay? Yeah, I got it.
That's good. No, go. Did you take your photo yet? What's that?
Cool. Alright, I'll see you guys around. Thanks.
Oh, there's an opening right now.
Hi. Yeah, go.
Oh, sure.
Can I get a block text and get an autograph and a picture?
Autograph on this little itty bitty piece of paper.
Yeah, it's the only thing I got.
Okay, well, I gotcha. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you.
So Destiny, you'll take up political questions there.
You want to do a photo? You already? Okay. Right. Photo.
Yeah, sure.
Photo. Yeah. You'll go. You're next. Yeah.
Thank you for everything you did for our people. And I hope that one day you will also open your heart to the animals, including the snakes.
I respect you.
I know just as much as you know. Yeah, I mean, wanted to express some support.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You have no idea.
Cool. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm Ender. I wanted to give you two things.
Okay.
First of all, if you want a kind of a little bit of an own from somebody who didn't read the Quran, you could like when you go male goes a martyr, he gets 72 virgins. What the female gets. Arabs cannot answer it, mostly.
Okay.
And she's become greedier than the other 72 virgins. It's kind of a forbidden fruit because if you now use it in a debate, they will probably catch up and try to use, like they simply know the knowledge, but it's
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay.
And you need to go into a little bit more into denims because she's Hamas posting, Hassan posting. Yes.
Oh, denims?
Yes,
denims. Oh, denims is a fucking horrible human. I know what you mean, but I don't even know if it's worth it. Yeah. She's a horrible, disgusting piece of shit. Though.
Like what she did with Atlas and shit.
Oh, not even that. I don't care about that. Personally, she's stuff, but like the online, the online stuff is the political shit is unhinged. Yeah. That whole camp is unhinged. Cool. Thank you.
Will you go for Jewish villages?
Will I go to what?
Will you meet the Jewish people?
I am meeting the Jewish people, aren't I?
No, not the Jewish
Oh,
people.
Druze.
The Druze.
Oh, yeah. I'm going up north in 2 days, I think. Yeah.
Okay, let me take a picture.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you for supporting.
Destiny, if you want to learn like really obscure Israeli history, like the gay Hamas commander, or like Achsivland, which is a micronation that broke off and somehow
tell me after I do that.
It's a two-person micronation that defeated like a assassination attempt by the PLO of 6 people.
Okay. Tell me after the pictures, okay? And then I'll. Yeah. Okay.
Like, really
Destiny, it's a bit of a main question. But it's a bit of a main question.
Okay.
But is there a chance of a debate or even a bridge rebuilding with Bosch?
A chance to debate with who?
Bosch.
Oh no, it'll never happen.
Thank you very much. And thank you not just for advocacy for Israel, but also for queer people.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey,
Thank you.
good to see you again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Question for you. So you talk about a lot.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Can I just want to figure out all the pictures and then I'll do questions. I'll answer whatever question. I'm just trying to, and then because otherwise I have to rush through the question. Yeah, you're good. Any other picture? Yeah, picture. Yeah, of course, yeah.
With only Arab here, so yeah.
Yeah.
אתה יכול לצלם? כן, בטח.
I just want to tell you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Already picture with you. Mainly, that's I want very appreciate your efforts.
Okay.
And thank you for your great deed. And I hope you feel happy.
No problem.
Appreciate
not now, thank you.
here in this event. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Picture.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I just turned my phone off.
Okay, not good, not good.
Not the
You're
best,
good.
no.
Good.
It'll get there.
You'll get there. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
you did that guy.
everything that could get fucked up.
Okay.
All right, let me know if you get the.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, thank you. Hi.
Get your
Hello,
question.
hello.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, thank you. Picture.
I make mistake actually anyways, but I just want to say thank you, Ed, and I also want to say that I've been following you for years, and I'm really glad to meet you too. So yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much.
Rich, I'll ask you a question. I want to go home. I want him to go home.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. So you go first?
Oh yeah, no, let's go. We're good.
Long time watcher. Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah.
I think you're here. And yeah. Say cast ahead.
Oh shit, I just understood. Yeah. Have a good one, man. Okay, go. Hi.
Nice to meet you. Ronnie, come on. Come in the picture. I'll take it. Give it. Let's go.
Cool.
Well, you didn't want to.
Picture. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
David, I'm the dude.
You're the what?
I'm the dude with the duck.
The dude with the duck.
The earlier when you were in Carcassonne.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck, I know now. Oh, the one I fought about. Oh, yeah. I was really mean to you, but I don't think you're mean
it's okay. It was really great. You gave me a lot of traffic, which is great.
That's good. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Yeah, pictures. What's up?
One second, coming for a second, you'll be right back.
What do you need? Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. God. Okay.
Can I go move early there? Is that okay?
Wait.
Oh no, I've
Have you changed your opinion on Mediterranean food?
Did I just wipe it all? I don't know. It's fucking boring, okay?
Really?
I'm sorry, it
Wait,
is.
when you're here, you're eating hummus.
Yeah,
and
it's
falafel,
okay. Yeah.
and shawarma.
It's
all
good.
these-
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Wait, what's better than that?
Have you eaten bamba?
Indian food, Mexican food, Italian food, Spanish
Italian
food. Yeah, well, of course. What do you mean? Pastas and lasagnas and ravioli.
I'm black, so I can say I'm Moroccan.
Have you eaten bamba?
Oh, no, you're
Bambi,
from
the one, the deer that got shot.
No.
Okay, wait here. Figure this out and then picture. Any other pictures? Yes. Hi. Okay.
Stolen. The only Israeli food is bamba.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, wait. Okay. I
Wait.
have to ask you something.
I know you got questions. I'm gonna do it after I do pictures. Okay? Yeah. Cool.
Cheers, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, really good.
Thank you. Pictures. Any pictures? Yep. Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hi.
Can we take a picture together?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
3, 2, 1. Ah! Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. 3 messages? What? Okay.
Hi guys.
Okay.
Everyone wants to wish you happy milking.
Milkin.
They want to milk you.
Oh, gotcha. Wait, what was Blav's message?
Blav's message,
pasta.
you
Bro,
will
it's
send
pasta
you
and
a
pizza.
virtual hug.
Okay. Tell Blav that if he doesn't behave in that thread, I'm gonna get back with Melina. Okay. So, have a good one, man. Yeah.
That guy.
Picture. What?
I have a friend who have a birthday. He knows you probably.
Fuck. Yeah. Quick.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Quick. Yeah. You got it. Cool. Thank you.
Just say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Roger. Happy birthday.
כל מי שנשאר רוצה שאלות, אז הוא ביקש שתשבו ככה שאם יש שאלה כפולה הוא לא יצטרך כל אחד שלא שמע, כן שמע, הוא אמר הוא יענה לכולם, רק בואו נשב, ככה אם יש שאלה כפולה נעשה ביחד.
Nice. Holy shit. Good job.
That's the military training.
Yeah. Pictures. Yeah. Hey.
They teach you that in school?
Hello? Yeah.
I'll send you a project. I work for a non-profit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
One last one. Well, you gotta enjoy. I gotta appreciate the shirt.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, the one that gave you those gifts in the beginning. The your name.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
I cost of change. I run many faces.
Oh, good job. Good job. Yeah. Picture.
Can you see that?
Can't you come to Haifa?
Come to where?
Haifa.
Oh, maybe we'll see. We'll see. I'm running around. I got all sorts of shit. I'll see. Okay.
It's a video, by the way.
Oh, it's a video. Yeah. Go. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Hi, pictures?
Talking to
Thank you so much.
Cool. What?
Do you remember talking to a ghost of Katie?
Ghost of Katie. I don't think so. I remember talking to Katie.
Okay, so I talked to you one time.
Okay.
But like,
Were you the one that she dragged into a debate? Oh, okay, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, but I was too nervous, and I'm way better in person than this.
Okay.
Like a bit nervous now, but okay. I'm just autistic.
There you go. We're all
But yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice meeting you. I'm Neville.
Thank you.
Like the obscure Israeli history.
You
can go before me.
Well, he's got, yeah.
No.
Oh, it's personal.
It's not really like.
Go ahead.
Can I go on to the right?
Yeah, you got it. Nice try.
I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The obscure Israeli history. Like there's this one YouTuber who's
Okay.
called Hashemonian Historian.
Okay.
Who basically covers like the Arafat hypnotization plot. If you don't know what that is, or like a actual Hezbollah spy in the Knesset.
Okay.
The last thing was like a micronation that declared independence like near the Lebanese border. That like covers obscure Israeli history and in a really funny way, and I think that's funny. Like one Hungarian Jew, like during World War I, somehow became a British Parliament member without being a British citizen. Became a spy for Germany. Was a part of a proto-fascist terrorist group. Moved to China and became a self-proclaimed Dalai Lama. So like generally like batshit insane Jewish and Israeli.
I'll keep it in mind. Hashemonian
historian. It like named after the Hashemonian dynasty, like during the Roman time.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind. I'll check it out.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many followers, but he blew up like with only 6 videos, got edited like 17,000 followers.
Cool. Okay. I'll keep it in mind.
Thank you.
Pictures or?
No, I got a thing. AI.
The AI thing. Okay. How long is this pitch gonna take?
30 seconds.
Okay. Go. What do you got?
Okay, so I'm building I'm a second-time founder. I had an exit in 2019, and now building a company, an AI company that is built on showing both perspectives around big divisive issues, around like Israel-Palestine, conservative, liberal, etc. And I'd love for you to get behind it. We're trying to build a place online for people who want to see both sides of issues that are shaping our world.
Okay.
Divisive issues.
Listen, when you've got an MVP, when you launch a
We
product.
have. It's live.
Oh, what's the website? What is it?
It's called alchemicwithq.ai.
Okay.
And
Show me.
how do I reach you? Like on this
contact@destiny.gg. You email it, it gets forwarded to me. So.
and subject alchemic.ai, and I'd love to pitch this more.
Okay. Gotcha.
Awesome, man.
I'll keep it in mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a good friend, an American friend. I believe you two hate each other's guts. Do you know Mouth the Infidel?
Oh yeah, I do hate him. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask if you want me to pass him any shit talk.
No, he's good. Fuck him.
Okay. All right. Always happy to shit.
Thank you. Huh? Picture? Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What? Yeah, I think maybe these guys. Picture? Yeah. Hello. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for standing in the heat for 2 hours.
Nah, that's fine. That's all good. What do you got?
I just wanted to stress the importance of the Dave debate.
Dave debate. Oh, I'll do research if I need to. That guy's a fucking retard. We'll see. We might. I don't think he's ever going to debate me though, so it's not even worth it. But.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but just like we chill, the chiller one wins. Right?
I'm always chill. Yeah, we're good. Pretty chill. Yeah. What? Okay. Is that a real rifle? Oh, geez, careful.
Not
Okay.
the only one.
This is for people in the Nova Festival. Just wants to take a picture where you hold it.
Yeah, we got one good to you.
Oh, well, random, yeah.
Enjoy your talk.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing, just doing okay. All right, since a lot of you guys have fucking the same question over and over again, I figure I'll sit you down and I'll answer questions so I don't have to answer the same question enough to want to kill myself. Yeah, go. You're first.
Yeah, so a lot of times you've spoken about that you get a lot of your information when you're asked like why you're not like a parrot, like a propaganda parrot for Israel. You say, well, I look at like third-party sources, I look at Amnesty International, I look at, a lot of these other third parties. But like more and more we're seeing these third parties are showing sort of like an anti-Israel bias. So when you find people who want to understand where to find objective information about this conflict, especially when there's so much misinformation, and you have things coming out of the UN and ICC and all that, where would you direct them to learn about Israel and what's really happening?
Sure. So the question is basically, how can you advocate for like doing reading or research if it seems like the third-party organizations are starting to become a little bit captured? Here's what I'll say is, in all of my reading so far, like UN reports, Amnesty International, all of it, usually the analysis is they tell you what they're doing. Sometimes they just have really silly conclusions. So it's still worth reading to understand what's going on, but just understand that sometimes the conclusion will be a little silly. So you might have a report that is telling you, like the Goldstone report, might take like witness testimony and then report it, and that's what it's telling you, and it's honestly telling you that, but whether or not the witness testimony is reliable, is worth further investigation. So just because a third-party org might give you bad conclusions doesn't necessarily mean all the reporting or the underlying facts are bad. So that's how I view it. It's a little bit unfortunate sometimes, but people will say where their numbers are coming from. They'll say what they're reporting, and then it's up to you to evaluate, I guess, if you trust it or not. And that just requires, I think, like a lot of reading to get like a handle on, is this a real thing? Is it actually happening? Is there like a history of this? Or is it some bullshit, basically? Yeah. Most of it what? Oh, most people don't do that? Most people don't do that. I get a lot of credit for like being unique and exploring my political stuff, but I'm also like a super isolated fucking on my own, whatever, crazy guy. For a lot of people that have positions, it's easier for me to have a lot of flexibility because other people have a lot of pressure from friends, family, social groups, fellow students, teachers, whatever. So I can sit here and say like, oh, well, I'm so unique and I can have my own opinions and blah, 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 but I sit at home all day on a fucking computer getting paid a lot of money to have my own opinions. For somebody else, adopting an opinion of mine might mean losing a friend group. It might mean having a family member ostracize you. It might mean having students hate you. I wish that more people would do independent research, but that process is like, you have to like very gently massage people in that direction, because for a lot of people, having a controversial opinion might mean giving up a large chunk of their social life. What's up?
What's been the most narrative affirming or breaking experience you've like realized so far?
The most narrative breaking experience I've realized so far when I come here. Okay, so or affirming. I had where's Boner Box? He left. What a loser. Okay. Man, this guy's making me nervous. When I
Make sure you say the right stuff.
What?
Make sure you say the right stuff.
The right stuff.
Yeah, the right
Oh yeah, that's my Hasbro operative. When I first came here, the first interview that we did was actually with a guy called, how popular does anybody here know Dr. Mordecai Kedar?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
He's a crazy right-winger.
Okay, I've heard he's a crazy right-winger. The guy is incredibly intelligent, okay? And I came away from that conversation thinking like, oh, holy shit, this guy has a lot of really strong information. And then I've had more conversations since then. The one today was with Ben and me. I spoke with Yossi Balin. I spoke with just a lot of, actually you guys might know a guy, I think Yosef Haddad? Okay. But among other people, one thing that I wish that you guys would talk about more in Israel is you guys have a tremendous Arab population that is like really cool. I hear the saying over and over again, like the doctors, the lawyers, that they're really overrepresented in like higher order jobs and everything. That despite October 7th, they didn't like commit like a ton of terrorist attacks. You didn't have like the third intifada. Well, yeah, but for the most part, I mean, that's something that, I think needs to be spoken about more, that like should have more credit given to it. That's a tremendous achievement, I think. But go ahead. Oh, yeah, I was pointing at you, yeah. No, or did you? No, you, I think.
So I want to ask you, do you think it's important to focus on actually going
in educating and changing the stuff in the school, in the West Bank, in Gaza. Not just should we go into Rafah? Are we doing the? Should we actually change the education of what they're saying, teaching in the mosques? Because these terror attacks are being done by individuals. So it's not like something that you can do on paper between two bodies of government.
Yeah, so the question is like, do you need to go into like the West Bank or the Gaza Strip and change the schools and everything else? So I go back and forth on this. If you ask me in 2 weeks, I might have a different opinion, but it feels like people can have an opinion, especially in this region with Israel, Palestine, with the surrounding states, where everybody has a really strong opinion and people hate certain things. But as soon as a strong leader like comes forward, like a lot of people thought that peace between Egypt and Israel could never happen and everybody's opposed to it until the deal is there. Same thing with the Oslo Accords. Until the deal is there, people are opposed to it. And then when it comes, like everybody's like, oh, okay. So I feel like you can't like de-radicalize everybody and change all the schools. It's not going to happen. There's no way that it can happen. But I feel like if honestly, there needs to be a really strong Palestinian leader, I feel, that needs to come up and make like strong decisions and brave decisions. But once that agreement is in place, I feel like everything else can kind of change. But I've spoken to people that are on both sides of this that feel very differently. Ehud Olmert and Yossi Beilin, these guys feel like every single micro detail needs to be worked out, and only at that point can people finally move in a direction where there's like some resolution to the conflict. People like Ben-Ami, people like Kedar, obviously they're a lot different politically, but they feel like the ideas and the broad strokes need to change first, and only after that happens will the micro stuff, start to change. So,
just talk about Egypt. So Egypt is actually, it's a catastrophe. There may be peace, but on the ground, what's going on there? If you talk to the people, I don't know if you've been, but it's really, really radicalized against Israel.
It might be radicalized against Israel, but even when the Muslim Brotherhood came into power, Egypt still honored their agreement. I think that's really important. I think that says a lot. When Iran shot all those missiles, Jordan is 60, 70% Palestinians. They shot back. Saudi Arabia is another Muslim state. They shot back. So I think the agreements in writing, I think, are really important. What?
Thanks to the United States.
I mean, everybody. It takes everybody involved. You're next. Go ahead.
It seems like this conflict is a bit in the world media landscape. It might be a bit blown out of proportions. Do you think there's a reason for that, or do you think that's true?
Is there a reason why? So the question is, has the media landscape blown things out of proportion? In my opinion, I feel like it's a little bit of a repeat of in 67, Israel wins, is on top of the world, they own fucking everything, and then 73 is like the huge fucking wake-up call. I feel like for a long time, it feels like in Israel, the Palestinian issue could kind of just be brushed aside. I think that like 60, 70 years ago, it was easy to look at Israel as like the victim between all the Arab states. But as time has gone on and all of those states have been removed from the conflict, it's just Israel and the Palestinians. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what you say, what you do, what the reality of the situation is. It's always going to look bad when it's Israel and Palestinians, no matter what. Even if Hamas is committing horrible atrocities on October 7th, if one soldier shoots somebody accident, like 1 million Rafah citizens were evacuated and nobody cared, but that bombing that ended up detonating the whatever factory and killing, 50 people, everybody talks about that. There's just no way to get away from that, I think.
I mean, more in general, conflicts in this region seems like there's 300,000 people dead in Syria. There's things happening in the world that don't get as much coverage as like conflict in general here in Israel. I suspect there's like some geopolitical, strategical, maybe important for Israel, for other countries, that these conflicts in this region would be...
Yeah, the question is, why doesn't none of the other conflicts get as much attention? Because there's not as much to like. Like, Syria is complicated. When Syria is falling apart, there's like fucking 30 different groups fighting each other. Yemen is complicated. There's like families and tribes, and it's been, you had South Yemen, North, it's complicated. But for Israel-Palestine, it's, people view it, as stupid as it is, as like white Jews versus brown Arabs. They view it as colonizers versus colonized. They view it as West versus East. They view it as U.S. versus Soviet back. Like, those are the ideas, and it's much easier to pick a good guy and a bad guy there. So I think that's why so much more attention is given to Israel-Palestine.
Thank you.
Do what?
How does that work, what you're saying? Because Palestinians have at least 2 distinct governments that we know about, but in fact have at least 8 internal groups.
Palestinian, yeah. So the counterpoint to that is that how does that work when Palestinians have all these other groups? Nobody knows about those groups. Nobody knows what the DFLP is or the PFLP is. What?
The issue is not the narrative of white brown. The issue is that narrative is being used to
it's
shallow the situation.
I understand you're saying, so the counter report is that it's not about it being white-brown. I don't think it's solely about that. I just think that's a big reason why people can get in. I mean, there are other factors at play too. One is that I don't think so. I know that you guys like to do the anti-Semitism card, but for the West, not many people in the West. It's not powered by
Palestinian racism.
Sure, yeah, they might. The what was your counterpoint?
My counterpoint is.
Hold on. Another factor that plays into it is, for some reason, despite the fact that Israel is like a Western-style democracy that came from the West, they don't know how to talk to the West. Hamas knows how to talk to the West. When you guys had October 7th happen, I'm not shitting on your customs or your traditions, but your intuition is to bury the bodies immediately. In Palestine, when somebody's killed, they shake the baby in front of the camera. These are like very, very different approaches to how you market the conflict, you know? In Israel, like honestly, I've said this before, I don't think I've done this on stream yet, but like the best piece of propaganda that was made for Israel, the best Hasbara, came from Hamas doing the videotapes of the girl in the back of the Jeep. That was a Hamas video, and I think that was probably what stirred up, pro-Israel sentiment more than anything else. And I think Israel has to I don't know how, but the Hasbara meme is a total fucking joke. There is no Hasbara. It's horrible. Yeah. So, but I keep in mind, it's easy for me to criticize because I can just sit here and needlessly nitpick. I understand that it's hard. I'm not envious of Netanyahu or anybody else's position. It's a difficult job, but these are the problems that I see, I guess. Question.
You said that the Israeli conflict with the Palestinians is so-called simple, or it could be seen as simple.
Hold on, can you speak up a little?
Yeah, he says that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict could be seen as simple.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, like, a weird Western, view of the conflict, because don't you say that the reason that Jews came back here in the first place is because of the systematic murder of Jews in the Shoah?
So I think the question is that, even though the conflict is seen as simple, it's not really simple. That's a Western. I feel like I actually kind of disagree. I think it is kind of simple. I think the issue is that both sides just want things that the other side isn't willing to give. I feel like that's like in a broad stroke, that is it. I do agree that there is a simplification that happens on the West, but I think you have to understand that from a Western perspective, it doesn't matter what you say. In this last war, there's going to be, 20, 30, 40,000 once all the bodies are counted, Palestinians dead, and there's going to be, even including October 7th, maybe 2,000, 3,000, maybe Israelis dead. No matter what the explanation is, nobody in the West, no kid on a college campus is going to look at those numbers and think, oh, okay, there's just no way, it can't happen. Go ahead.
What the West sees as Israel and what Israelis see, that Israelis just want to live. We just want to live, and we don't have anywhere else to live and govern ourselves as Jews. That's why we're all Zionists.
I understand that. So the counter retort was that Jews just want like a place to live. I understand what you're saying, and I'm sympathetic to that point, but in the West, the impression is that every single Jew you talk to is a fucking millionaire banker who can go and live anywhere in the world, on fucking Epstein's Island or whatever. I know it's not true, I'm just saying that's the perception of the West, so fighting that is so hard. And then somehow there's like this Western perception that Jews run like all the fucking media and everything, when Russia and Qatar and Iran are doing more for the media than you guys are, so, yeah. What? Yeah, no, I understand. I understand your point, but I'm just speaking to what the Western perception is, which is it has to be fought against somehow. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I was going to ask you earlier. So you've been here in Israel so far 2 days, and I know this Israel is there's two Israels: the one that we talk about online and the actual people in society. So based on all the perception you had online so far, what's your impression and biggest surprise about Israeli people, Israeli culture, anything new?
Yeah, I'm getting asked questions about a lot about my time in Israel. Honest to God, where's my security guy? Every day it's been interview. We haven't done anything. This is the first time I've even been to the beach. So I haven't done any culture at all. We've gone to a few restaurants, but it's been 8 a.m. to 12 is an interview, and then from 1 to 4 is an interview, and then and Shel Pfeffer is a British journalist guy. I don't know if anybody's heard him. We talked to that guy. I think last night. I think we left his place at midnight from Jerusalem, and then came back to Tel Aviv. And then this morning we were at Shlomo Ben Ami's house at 9:30 a.m. And then we talked to him. And then I've talked to Yosef Hadan. Yeah, Haddad, whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's just everything. Yeah. So I have no experience with the culture or anything yet. I'm just driving around and. Well, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Okay. You up there? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
What happened in America at 9/11?
What happened? 9/11? We got terror attacked. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's like what attacked the USA, the buildings, was Afghanistan, why the terror. So what happened to us happened to you, and you like people like go free Palestine. The same group attacking us. They're like, and you have like a massive people died, you know, and you're like, yeah, let's focus like have like people killing us. Let's get other people like we. Bro, like you don't understand the people who did 9/11, the same group, the same state of mind, the same of like belief, what they did to us, it's the same thing.
I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that like in the West, Americans need to understand that 9/11 and terrorist attacks and people with this type of ideology do the same thing on October 7th. You guys, I understand this. This is what I would tell you to, I would encourage you to understand this. Non-state actors, people that aren't part of countries, people that don't have standing armies, right now the battlefield internationally on a political level is primed for them. So you can look at, well, America, you know, we got 9/11 and then we went to the Middle East, we did all this stuff. That was a traumatizing event for the United States. Not 9/11, but Iraq. Like, we can't do anything in the Middle East now without people going, that's going to be like Iraq. It's like our new Vietnam. Like, we can barely help, Ukraine because that's going to be Iraq, and we can't do anything in Israel because we're mind-fucked from the Middle East. So even though the United States felt like they wanted to do stuff afterwards, all the negative attention that you guys got, we basically feel like we got that after 20 years of the adventures in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm not trying to say anything is right or wrong, but I'm just saying, like, even our response there that we did ended up making domestically any foreign policy choice by the United States incredibly difficult, and it ended up making internationally the view of the United States and our authority to operate in any theater, especially in the Middle East, severely hampered, in my opinion. So just things to keep in mind, I guess, yeah. But I understand, yeah, it's fighting these kinds of people, it's incredibly challenging because, like, the war in Iraq, I don't think anybody really felt that bad because it was Saddam Hussein and the army of Iraq. I think they had one of the largest tank forces in the world. It's a real standing army. But as soon as you're fighting against guerrilla warriors, you're fucked. Everybody looks at you like you're horrible and crazy. And I mean, you guys experienced that in 2006 where you thought that maybe the Lebanese people would like you. They don't. They don't. You thought that, maybe, if you bomb, whatever, 2008, 2014, whatever in the Gaza Strip, maybe, the Gazans will like you and not Hamas. They don't. So yeah, it's hard. It's very, very, very challenging. I'm sympathetic towards it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I have a quick question about one other point there's this in Israel we have like a mandatory military service.
Yeah.
And if we don't, we have the option to do like national service, as in like volunteering and stuff like that. How? We were saying this like in 2019 or so, about Meetup or something, about like some form of mandatory volunteering. What are your opinions on like some form of
On mandatory like military service?
No, not necessarily military. Let's say you have
Or any type. I mean, I think mandatory some type of. The question is basically how do I feel about like mandatory some type of like government-run stuff? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's okay.
I think it's generally a great idea.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything about it. Yeah.
Oh, and what are your thoughts on like a peace plan right now by Biden?
Thoughts on the peace plan by Biden? Is there a peace plan? I don't think there is. Oh, you mean the ceasefire? Oh, peace plan and ceasefire. Peace and ceasefire are two totally different things. So I haven't even looked at the details of it yet. So, but I think I just heard that Hamas apparently rejected it. So.
What do you think Israel should do after the war is over? Because a lot of people are saying like try to advance a two-state solution, and I agree with two-state solution myself. But I'm also afraid that if we do it immediately after the war, like there will be a consensus, like a conception among the Palestinian people that this is thanks to October 7th.
Yeah, the question is, what do you do after the war?
So how do we advance a two-state solution while avoiding that?
Okay, so the question is, how do you advance any peace plan without making it seem like a reward for October 7th?
Yeah.
The harsh reality is that I think, as sad as it is, I think that probably is the case. That Israel felt like they could kick the can down the road, and then, I mean, Hamas has a political victory in showing, no, you can't. You cannot ignore this conflict, which is tragic. But I mean, it really echoes the Yom Kippur War, right? Where it was like, oh, like, we can just kind of win and take all these territories and nobody cares, and that wasn't the case. So, I mean, if something comes after this, the thought can't be like, well, we can't do peace because they'll think it was because of this particular thing, and we just like keep going. I mean, Oslo came after the first Intifada. I don't think that should be part of the thought process. But yeah, I don't even know what a peace plan looks like because that's basically what I'm here to talk to people about. And I haven't gotten like a strong Palestinian side of things yet. That comes at the end of my trip, so I guess I'll hear from them.
That came to the Israeli parliament and declared no more war and no more bloodshed.
That who?
Sadat came to the Israeli parliament and stood in Jerusalem inside the Israeli parliament and said no more war and no more bloodshed.
Yeah?
Yeah, if Abu Mazen would have come to the Israeli parliament, there'll be peace tomorrow.
Yeah, but then Abu Mazen would be dead.
I think there needs to be that figure in the Palestinian world. I hope that Abbas can be it, but
It won't happen this way, not that. That's the difference between Yom Kippur and Oslo.
I understand what you're saying, but this is like the only thing that I'll say is that it doesn't matter what the excuse is, but like your country will be destroyed if the status quo maintains. And it could be that like all of you are being nuked by Iran and you're saying, well, the Palestinians had no strong leaders as you're destroyed. That was part of Sharon's idea when he disengaged in 2005. He also wanted to pull to the West Bank because I think Sharon had that idea. I talked to Ben Ami today and it was interesting. He said that one of the most tragic deaths historically, it wasn't Rabin, because he thought that if Rabin would have carried on with his plan, he would have ended up in the exact same place. He said that he thought the tragic death was Sharon dying of the stroke, and that the unilateral disengagement from the West Bank, because Sharon thought that there was no peace to be had, but at least if Israel pulls out, then fuck it, then whatever happens, happens, and they can make the arguments for defense and security by...
What if it won't, though?
But if what?
What if it won't, you know?
But if you won't, I'm just saying, like, if you won't, like, you could, there's... Heaven is, or do you have heaven? I don't know if you're what. Like, there's a lot of people in the afterlife, you know, who are arguing with the guy at the gates on the bike saying, I had the right of way. And they might have, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, if you get destroyed and it's like, well, fuck, the Palestinian leader, it's the onus, you have to do something, right? Israel's figured out in the past. Hopefully they can figure it out in the future, but, or if they don't, hopefully I'm not here when it, when it happens. Go ahead. Yeah.
In Israel, we talk a lot about the day after. I guess it's like a continuation of the question that you asked earlier.
Yeah.
I know that you don't have like a specific answer to this, and no one actually has an answer to this, but considering the day after that we neutralize Hamas's military powers and we get the hostages home, what should Israel do in the short term? Like, what should the first thing that Israel should do?
What should Israel do? Yeah, so the question is, what does Israel do after the war? I truly don't know the answer to that. I talked to Yair Golan, and his idea is that the PA has to be strengthened, that like Abbas needs to be able to walk into the Gaza Strip with all the money that Israel is helping the PA raise behind him to construct things to win approval from the Palestinian people. But then, wait, what did he say? What? Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, I've heard other people say the PA is a failed entity. I've heard, yeah, Arabs say back and forth. I don't know. I don't know the answer is, yeah. You
said we can de-radicalize everyone through education, but the West did manage to de-radicalize the Hitler youth. Now, I'm not comparing the situation, but the notion that you just can't de-radicalize everyone through education, I don't think it's...
So the question was about like de-radicalization of like the Hitler youth. What? Yeah, the question is basically like, well, I said earlier that you can't de-radicalize everybody, and then the counter retort is, well, America de-radicalized the Nazis and everything, so it seems like that can happen. I think that the far-right Israeli response is America was able to de-radicalize after World War II because they dominated those countries. Japan was completely obliterated. Germany was completely obliterated. The Marshall Plan... What is that?
Lifeguard stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, after World War II was unique because there was like a total domination of those countries. So
now we sort of destroyed Gaza, you know?
Yeah.
And if we try to rebuild Gaza, the same as the...
There's the added challenge as well because then the counter retort is like, well, we've completely destroyed Gaza. The counter retort, though, or another dimension to this conflict is Japan and Germany, and that faction didn't have the entire world cheering them on like the Palestinians do. So that's a tougher thing as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The eyebrows. No. He gave me. Yeah. He gave me eyebrows. Go ahead. What do you got? My favorite Israeli prime minister. Menachem Begin has a funny story. What? Oh, okay. That dude seemed like he was literally attacked by, tried to be killed by every fucking person. The Nazis, the Jews when he came over, fucking Palestinians, like.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right there.
I know that he wasn't a prime minister, but Moshe Dayan is also very interesting. Those two guys, I think, are the most like interesting in your history. Yeah, go you with the hat. Or here, you can speak. I'm just coming closer.
I want to ask you about the policy block, the block policy that happened recently in the U.S. I don't know if it's
The policy in the U.S. Which one?
The immigration policy that got blocked by Republicans because they want to keep it as an election issue for Trump. Does that seem like a concerning trend to you that basically every lap?
Yeah, I think it's a huge issue that everything in the U.S. is being so politicized and everything has to be part of some fucking joint deal and that like people don't even want to solve issues so they can keep it open for the election. Yeah, I think it's incredibly fucking damaging. And it's more sad that like people are sitting in fucking ditches in Ukraine like waiting for artillery in the U.S. and it's like tied to like our immigration bills and shit is fucking horrible. Yeah.
It seems like it's an issue for Republicans. It seems like it's a weird thing that now like every last year coming to an election, just there's no policy they can pass because they want to keep it open as relevant issue.
Yeah, it's not good. It's super destructive. Yeah, for sure.
Quick question. Right now we're in a war, not just a physical war, we're also in a social media war. And I think a lot of us here post stuff, whether it's pro-Israel or post stuff on social media. And I want to get your input as someone who's an influencer in the world. How do you combat posting various things and making sure that it's not, cancel culture, everything going on in America, like it's a really cool thing to cancel Israel, cancel anti-Zionism, cancel, all these different things. How do you combat that?
So the question is like, how do you combat misinformation when you're posting stuff online? There are so many different things that Israel has to fight against in terms of like their view in the world. What you can do starts at home. The first thing you should do is make sure that fucking Ben Giver and Spoketrig are never speaking publicly to anybody ever for anything ever, because that's probably I feel like anything they say is going to end up in a fucking ICJ indictment somewhere or just fucking
Take only Vent.
What?
Only Vent take.
Yeah. I feel like this is something that is so stupid. I deal with this a lot as like an online guy that like people say misinformation about and you have to combat it. When you're combating misinformation, you'll always see people that will never listen to a fucking thing that you say. But there are two important groups that you should keep in mind when you're speaking in defense of yourself. One is there are people that are listening that just don't really speak or say much, but they do hear things, but they're really hard to see. That's one. And number two is for the people that do defend you, when you stop defending yourself, you give them any ammunition to defend you with, which I think is the most annoying or irritating thing. Be truthful, say what you can, and hopefully, Hassan gets banned on Twitch, and, the propaganda war isn't lost forever, but yeah, it is hard. There's like 35 different recommendations that I could make, and at the end of the day, I don't even know if they would help, because you've got like a lot of Qatari money, you've got a lot of Iranian and Russian robot influence, you've got fucking nerds at the fucking Kremlin that are typing up the stupidest fucking shit all the time. It's hard. Go ahead.
I really appreciate the fact that you've got no foot in the game and still you're really dedicated to actually learning without any preconceived notions. To me, that's really impressive. But one thing that was very meaningful to me was your debate with Norman Finkelstein, Benny Morris, and also, not because it was particularly meaningful in terms of the actual content, but quite the opposite. For the longest time, I've been kind of, studying, as many of us here, studying this conflict and really wrestling with myself as to whether, maybe we're missing something. The whole world hates us. There has to be something that we're just getting wrong. And when, you who are ultimately a layman, in a sense, went with Benny Morris, sat down in front of them, and I had nothing new to say that any of us have ever not heard before. That to me was really, that was something to me. That really strengthened kind of my convictions. But what I would ask is there something that you have heard? What is the strongest thing on the, pro-Pali side that you have heard, which is the most thought-provoking thing?
Yeah. So essentially, after a lot of glazing, no, I'm just kidding. Basically, the question was, what's like the strongest pro-Palestinian argument? I'm uncomfortable answering that right now. The end of my trip is where I'm going to try to talk to a couple guys in the PA. I'm going to try to talk to Palestinians and get those arguments. I really don't know any right now. They're very, very rough.
There's a chance I can fix you a bus.
Okay, yeah, right. If you could, I would absolutely do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know what the good pro-Palestinian arguments are. I try to find them. I'm searching hard. So yeah, I mean, the best one is that your guys is like the little party that are part of your coalition. The right wingers are fucking insane. Also, I think like the settlements are problematic, and all of the, especially the ones like the way out there, like your Ariel and whatever the fuck, the ones that are like.
I will say this is kind of like a detour, but it's kind of reminding me in that debate something which I've never heard brought up on your streams. I haven't watched too many of them. I'm not like I didn't know much beforehand, but about you. But something I never really hear brought up is there are these claims that the I guess the Arabs. We took their homes. They never had to give up even 5% of it. There's something Mouin Rabbani said as well. But beyond the fact that it was never privately owned by them, it was never, I guess, theirs to decide who can immigrate. It was never theirs to decide. There was free Arab immigration throughout the Ottoman Empire, throughout the British Mandate, and then limited Jewish immigration. It was never theirs to decide in the first place. And I guess this is something that I've heard said to you a lot and to others, which I guess
The pre-1920, the pre-1917 arguments don't. I think they're really weak.
That's right, but it's kind of something that people are sticklers for, and I've never really heard any pushback in that sense.
If somebody wants to dive into the history, we can. But I mean, like for a large period of the Ottoman Empire history, like Jews weren't even allowed to immigrate. Like, is that going to be the basis on which you build your argument that they should? Yeah. So if somebody really wants to like get into the like historical, but usually what happens when people start bringing up stuff like that, even Mouin Rabbani and I think kind of Finkelstein did this, is whenever you start to question them on any specifics, there, all they have are talking points, and they'll say like, I don't want to get in the weeds, or I don't want to get lost in the details, and it's like, okay, well, fuck you. Like, I think those are just talking points. You go ahead. No. I am not. I have very little to no sympathy for the religious parts on either side. The crazy Islamist shit, I think, is mirrored by the crazy. It's not Orthodox. What are the names of your crazy settler? Heretic. I don't know. Whatever that. I think the religious Zionism. That's it. I think that there are strong arguments that can be made relating to relating to settlements along the Green Line. I think there are good security arguments that can be made there, but I think that they're tainted by the messianic hallucinations of the religious Zionists that want to, reoccupy the ancient lands of Judea and Samaria and welcome their fellow Jews. I think that shit poisons a lot of it. But also at the end of the day, like, it's not like well, I mean, I'm an atheist, so I think it's all hallucination. So, but I understand what you're saying. I just think that. Yeah, true. Yep.
Two questions.
Yeah.
Because we are downhill, would you bet on Israel to come around? Question number one.
Would I bet on Israel to come around?
Like, because we are downhill from October 7th and everything is like.
Oh, okay.
Would you bet on Israel to come around and to? Second question: do you think data change people's opinion?
Okay, so the first question is Israel going to recover from October 7th? You mean like in the world's eyes, like the opinion?
We have like 7 fronts of military, our economic is downhill, everything is downhill in Israel.
Okay. Is the 7 fronts, is that an Eilon talking point, or does everybody say that? The 7 fronts, I heard Eilon Levy, he says that a lot. Is that from him, or?
No, it's like all over the news.
That's, okay. The 7 fronts, here's the thing. For Israel, like, the battlefield has changed, like, and that has to be recognized because, like, the unified front of Egypt, of Jordan, of Syria, to everybody else in the world, that looks more scary than Hezbollah, than the Houthis, than Hamas. Like, it just doesn't have the same feeling. Non-state actors have that international advantage. So the question is really, can Israel, like, survive and navigate in the world where it just can't be a kinetic response? No amount of bombs or missiles are going to win these military conflicts. It has to be painful diplomacy. And when I say diplomacy, I don't just mean peace deals. I mean relationships with other countries. I mean working to starve out, whatever, Iran or Hamas or however that looks. But it has to be that type of response. It's not going to be solved militarily. And then the second question. Do
you think
data does data change people's minds? No. Data is like it's a part of what changes people's minds. But somebody's going to listen to a friendly figure more than they will to a data scientist. A lot of people don't even like fucking educated scientific people. They look at them and they say, "Fuck this guy." I don't even. it is depressing, but unfortunately, it's the way of the world. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right now. Yeah. Thank you. You go ahead.
Right. So I'm here with the eyebrows guy.
Okay.
We're friends. So we're 18 years old.
Okay.
And we're gonna be enlisting in the army in a couple of months. And I don't know if this worries all my friends or all my peers, but for me, I've thought about it, and even though I really want to enlist and serve my country and protect my family, I do have this little worry that in the media and in the global, opinion, it's not such a good thing to be an IDF soldier.
It's not. It's absolutely.
Yeah, it's not.
The opinion is really bad. Yeah.
So just my question for you is, what do you think about like the teens in Israel? They want to protect, but I mean, it does affect us. This public opinion. What's your opinion about like teens enlisting? Our image in the world.
In terms of enlisting, if you're a Jew, this is your country, and it's only surviving on the backs of how many people are willing to join the military, like how much of your in the 48 war, like what was it, like 17% of the whole fucking population was mobilized to fight, and the Arab states had fucking 10x, 20x the population, and they couldn't muster the same army. So participating in your country in terms of military service it's probably a proud tradition. It's probably important for the defense of your country, for your people, whatever. So I think that yeah, thanks. That's probably an important thing to keep in mind. In terms of world opinion, I guess that's your. Am I allowed to say that's your cross to bear? I don't know. That's a Christian thing, but yeah, Christ is king. Do what?
Do you think Israel is a unique country in that?
I think Israel has unique issues. Here's the one piece of advice I'll give you. Okay, if you're joining the IDF, okay, leave your fucking cell phone at home and stop taking stupid fucking videos, okay? Because everybody's fucking you with them, okay? And if you see a soldier, okay, going through a fucking drawer, and listen, if you want to fucking wear a dress and you think it's funny, just don't fucking take a fucking video picture of it, okay? Jesus. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people Israel think that whatever they do, they get criticized. Whatever they do. So it's kind of very hard to convince them that maybe we should listen to some of the criticisms.
Hold on, wait, I'm sorry. In Israel, it's hard to convince people.
That maybe we should listen to some of the criticisms that people give us.
Okay.
How do I do this? Or even if it's a good idea, maybe we shouldn't listen to them. Maybe we should just
okay. Yeah, so the question is, like, if you're Israeli, and I'm sure at some point there's like a mindfuck moment where you have to wonder, like, okay, well, hold on, have I been lied to about everything? And were we actually just completely fucking wrong? This is something that I've dealt with a lot. When a lot of people are saying the same thing, there is a corresponding true fact of the matter relating to this thing. It might not have anything to do with what they're talking about, but it's good to understand why they believe it. So if I have a debate with Finkelstein and I've got a bunch of people saying like, oh, he destroyed you, he annihilated you, he was so much smarter, you're wrong on everything, even if I know that the sentiments aren't factually correct, they're expressing something. And it's good to understand where that something comes from. Does that make sense?
The line of reasoning.
I'll do it simple. If you're a black guy and you're going to speak to a white audience and everybody says, oh, he was such a fucking asshole, but you were like the nicest guy on stage as a black person, then maybe it's going to sound, okay, well, maybe these people have like some racial attitudes against black people. So there's an underlying truth, like there's a fact of the matter for why they're saying the thing. It might not be what they're expressing, it rarely is, but it's just good to understand what they're expressing. And then once you understand that thing, then you can decide, okay, well, is it a thing that I need to worry about, or do I want to change that perception, or can I change that perception? That's like the next step. What I just described there is an incredibly difficult process. Most content creators can't do it. I don't know if a country can do it. It's really hard. Hi. Hi. Last question? Okay, I'll do 3. I'm doing 3. Can I do 3? Okay, 3 more. Oh, what time did you get here today? Oh, okay. I'll do 3 more questions, okay? 3 more. You've got one. Go ahead. You've got one. Go ahead. Jesus Christ. Okay.
The army forced me to go.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like you probably remember me from Discord, like.
Oh, yeah, fuck. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Aiden, right?
Adin, yeah.
Adin, oh, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, everyone. Like,
okay, yeah.
It's not like your name isn't pronounced any better, like.
Okay, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, what I want to ask is basically like, when we try to appeal to the American audience, like it seems to be like disconnect between the average American guy. Like when we say to him, oh, October 7, it's our 9/11. Like it's may appealing to him, but to the American colleges or extreme, they say, oh, it's like a blowback against you. Like they justify 9/11 to some.
They weren't born yet.
Who wasn't born yet?
On 9/11.
Oh shit, that's true actually. There might just be a lot of young people who don't even remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say October 7th like our 9/11, maybe the average American will understand what we mean, like in a positive way. But for extreme American and colleges and all that, they will say, like
I think here's an issue when it comes to comparing your October 7th to 9/11.
I mean, my point is like, should the only way to change the perspective about Israel is only if we change the perspective about America first.
Like what America's perspective of
themselves.
Of itself.
Of itself, because they see 9/11 as blowback, as something they just.
But the problem.
Look at themselves as white colonizers, and they don't see that they have the rights of being American, and they're not proud of their own value system.
Yeah, so
then how can we, as Israelis that have a similar value system, even talk to these kind of people?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, fuck, it's tough. Here's one cautionary tale I would say against the 9/11 comparison, though, is that to get to the blowback argument, you have to do reading, and you've got to do, like, what does it mean when they say blowback? For a lot of Americans, we saw on TV fucking planes.
You're American oppressed Middle Eastern, blowback 9/11.
Yeah, but that's like
Israel
how?
Palestinians, blowback.
But it's different, right? Like and I'm not saying that I agree with this, but the narrative is planes were flown by terrorists into U.S. buildings and civilians were killed. In Gaza, it was brave people breaking out of their prison to go and fight against their oppressors, right? Now, regardless of if that's true or not, which obviously I don't think it's true, but it's
not trying to make a one-to-one comparison.
But moreover, you're saying that like if there's a lot of self-hating Americans or people that are like.
So the only way to make them change the perspective with Israel is only if we change first the perspective with America.
Yeah. That's a really hard thing to do. When I'm arguing with people, there are times when I'm on the defensive and there are times when I'm on the offensive. I can't speak to the totality of your foreign communications, but I do think that there are times where I feel like the Israeli response to things should be way more aggressive rather than playing defense all the time. Like, the questions should have been... I don't know how to do your fucking media. I can say a thing, but like when people were asking questions about the hashtag Eyes on Rafah, right? Like before any question, before any excuse, before any reason for why, the question should be, why the fuck are rockets coming out of an area that's like 5 meters from the tents? That, like, anybody that asks you a question should have to answer that first. That should be number one. Why?
Why, yeah.
Because every single thing that Hamas does when they fight is aimed towards inducing the maximum amount of civilian casualties. And that most people don't understand or think that, right?
What's the value consensus that you feel people agree on that is not relative to who is doing what?
Nothing.
Nothing? Everything is relative.
I think so. People will say that it's not, but I mean, I learned this really well when I fought with lefties. That I think people genuinely believe there are no bad tactics, only bad targets. You've got people that are do you know, I don't know in American politics, you know who Tara Reid is?
No, I'm sorry.
Tara Reid was somebody that made a really wild rape accusation against Biden, and it was wild she was like, it was a wild accusation. There were so many American skeptics that believed every single word that she said. You know, she's a woman, she's giving this blah, 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 blah. And these are the same people that are writing stories saying that, like, rapes on October 7th haven't happened. Show me all the victims that are all saying that they were raped. It's not possible, right? So, like, in this sense, like, the skepticism and the way that it's applied, that clearly there's a disconnect. If there's truly a principled stance, it can't be explained. I think a lot of it is relative.
Or suddenly believe that fake tweet they made against me, for example.
Do what?
Like the fabric, you know Bed Empanada?
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
They fabricated a tweet that supposedly I brag about raping Palestinians.
Sure, yeah.
And suddenly so many suddenly believe it. Like I saw all the, the Therese and all that, Jackson, all that spread it. Like, here is the proof. Like this convincing, but not all the UN investigations about.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. I got one more question. Soldier in the top. Where? Wait, where? Point him out. Yeah, you got it. Okay, go ahead.
The dude can't show his face.
Do what?
Sorry for the inconvenience. The dude can't show his face.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. Okay, yeah, check your camera. Okay, go ahead. Question.
So, the majority of the discourse around the Israel-Palestine issue is centered around the history and the legitimacy of the country and state of Israel. And I think, from my perspective, there's an issue of perspective on this problem. I was born and I've been living in Ashkelon for 25 years. If you know Ashkelon, it's a city that is most targeted by missiles that are higher tier than mortars.
Okay.
Ever since, basically.
And I've grew up into this. I've been living this ever since childhood, and I think it's ridiculous to even bring up the idea that because of what happened, let's say Israel is not legitimate. It doesn't matter for me as a person that did nothing to aid in this illegitimacy, to be targeted, and for my family to be targeted for all this time, for doing nothing really, and for people to claim that I have no right of being here, of living here. And I also think it's ridiculous to even entertain this idea because it's nonsensical.
I understand. I don't think anybody believes the history arguments. It's just a talking point. If you show half of American students that are protesting a map of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, they're going to think that the West Bank is the one in the West. They'll make historical arguments, but if you talk about like the occupation of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and you ask them, well, how long have they been occupied? And they say, well, since
75 years.
Yeah, they'll say since like 67 or something. Well, who occupied them from 48 to 67? They don't really think about that. Or when they talk about who settlers are, who the occupation is, people will say like settlers and occupation, and people don't realize it's when some people say that, when it's said over here, for instance, all of Israel is settlers and all of it is an occupation, the whole country. So people bring up historical arguments, but I like the question earlier before about like principles versus non-principle. They're bullshit. Like people will say shit like, learn the history. They don't have any fucking idea what they're talking about. They don't know any of the history. So you can make historical arguments, but you'll find very quickly, and I'm sure some of you have probably fucking done this, that when you start asking people who have strong feelings about the history, they'll very quickly not engage anymore because they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. So
most of us have not lived through all of these things anyway. We haven't taken part of it. So
yeah.
yet you are suffering.
Yeah, so it sucks because on the Palestinian side, every single time they do something, you're asked to show empathy for why they think the things they do. But like people will say over and over again, you need to empathize with what they experience. But none of these, I would say maybe 20% of American students know what the Second Intifada is. They have no fucking idea. I've asked people in interviews before, why do you think, I go into a college campus and interview people, why do you think Israel started to go so hard right? They have no fucking idea. It was just randomly the evil Jews just started voting for Netanyahu or Sharon, I guess, for no reason. People have no concept, no idea. So yeah.
I think it's fair to say that on the Palestinian side, people my age can think the same things, and I think it's fair. But at the same time, the issue of dealing with the terrorist group is that while they are aiming missiles at me, while I'm suffering, I'm not gonna adjust an Iron Dome and target it at Gaza. Right? I'm not gonna do the same thing, and I'm left here to apologize, to feel bad about just living here and being born here, stuff that is out of my control. And I love this country, and I love my heritage, and it's not like I'm dismissing it, but at the same time, my personal life, my individual life, is all I can base my opinions on, and that's how I live my life. And yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Listen, I love you guys. Yeah. What? Say what, friends?
Say thanks, goodbye.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Did any of the meetings you had with Olmert, Ben-Ami, this kind of stuff, change some of your dynamic perspective?
It will. I'll talk about it on stream. I'll talk about it. Oh, yeah, you're the one. Fuck it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, walk and take a picture. Let's do it. Cool. All right. Thank you.
About the debate against Sam?
We'll see someday. He'll probably never want to do any of those, but yeah, okay.
Steven, what's your P doom?
What?
What's your P doom?
P doom?
The probability that artificial superintelligence...
I don't think of any of that shit. Go talk to Ayla, okay? I don't fucking follow any of that bullshit. Yeah.
So 0.
What? I have no idea, yeah. Huh?
Talk 0. Who should I give it to?
Somebody in the audience. I can't take it. I'm sorry. Thank you, though, yeah. Going up? I'm sure it's posted on my subreddit. Fuck. Yes, it's nice. Okay, thank you.
Can I get a picture of this?
Sure, you can do it while walking. Yeah, quick. Cool. Thank you.
What's been your longest goon session?
5 days straight of just gooning. That's all I've been doing since I've gotten here, constantly, okay? Oh, hi. I'll DM you, okay? Because I'm trying to escape right now, okay? Yeah.
Justin, can you add me on Discord for the potential meeting with a boss?
Fuck, with a boss?
Yeah.
Abu Mussin? Yeah. No fucking way. There's no shot. I don't believe you.
Listen, if you do it, let me know.
If you're in contact with him, do it. Yeah. I'll cancel fucking. Yeah. I'll cancel full day if you think you get that. Okay.
Yeah, you have till Sunday to let me know. You can make it work. Are you gonna interview random people on the street, or do you think it's always fine?
We might. It just depends on how much time I have. I probably will in the West Bank, but I don't know if I'll have time to get over yet.
Okay. Just say hi, but we're going up.
What? If I the problem is if I do a quick question, everybody. Yeah, sorry. Ask Pastor Abe. I'll see it. What? Oh. Okay. How many people do you think are there? Holy shit, I was...
No. By no means am I trying to say
Okay, go quick. What do you got?
believe in this stuff.
What?
No, I just think that there's an aspect of this that's so like, it's kind of like the programming underneath the matrix kind of thing going on that like.
There might be.
I think that plays a role.
I'll think about it.
So surface level.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll consider it.